Oh, the world has gone crazy again and people are panic buying. So I'm not going to go to the supermarket and battle people for things that I don't need and things that they don't need. I'm going to stay in and cook something with what I've got in the cupboard. So I haven't got any pasta, can't bother to make any. However, I have got a spare egg, so I'm going to make some pancakes with the flour, the egg, and the milk. I'm going to use half milk. It's going to be savoury, so I'm going to use half milk, half water, like you would do in a Yorkshire pudding. So that kind of cuts costs down. And then I'm going to make a cheap, easy tomato sauce with a tin of chopped tomatoes and an onion, probably one of the larger ones, and a bit of garlic that I found. So a clove of garlic in there, maybe a clove or maybe two. We'll make a pasta sauce. We'll cook down, not all that. That's bacon. Not going to cook all that down. I'm going to save the fatty stuff because I've got something else to do. So there's about 500 grams of that, leaving about 125 grams for something else because I've already taken 125 grams out. And then I'm going to make a white sauce, and then we're going to top it with either cheese or breadcrumbs. So these are the breadcrumbs from sourdough that I make, which I fry in spare bits of oil that I've got kicking about, and it makes like toasty breadcrumbs. So we'll crush some of those down, and then we might use that for a topping instead of cheese, but I haven't quite decided yet. And then to make the white sauce as well, I've got some, going to use milk, full fat milk as always, because it makes it just a little bit richer, and it's the same price as same as skim milk. I've got some beurre manier, which is like an instant thickening for white sauces and gravies and things like that, which I make. And then I'll put a stock cube in that to give it a bit of extra flavour as well. So it's going to be like layers of pasta sauce with sautéed onions and some bacon, and then it's going to be a layer of pancake, and then another layer of tomato, and then pancake and a layer of tomato. Build it up, and then we'll finish it off with white sauce. So it's going to be a little bit like a lasagna, but using pancakes instead of pasta. So kind of like a stuffed pancakes type of thing. But I haven't got any other vegetables in the house. They've been used in something else. So we're just going to use onions, which is what I've got. No herbs, because the herb garden's kind of dying off for the winter. So that's it. So we'll clear stuff away, and we'll do some chopping, and that'll be straightforward. And yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, we'll do some chopping, and we'll come back when I'm actually doing something rather than just peeling onions and that kind of boring kind of stuff. Onions are frying for the sauce, so it was like one onion for the sauce, and also I put in the roots as well, because we're going to puree that. All the little roots at the end of the that hold the onion together. I'll get one out and I'll show you. I put those in as well. So is there a whole one? I can't find one. Oh yeah, so you kind of see that. So the root there, that bit there, they went in. All the spare bits of roots from all the onions went in there as well, with a big fat clove of garlic, and then tomatoes in. Oh, what do you know? They were supposed to be chopped tomatoes, but they weren't. Oh well, good old Asda lying to me. So that's fine. So that's all going to get pureed down. So it just needs to cook down. So it forms a sauce. So it just needs to reduce really. Make sure that the garlic and the onions cooked, and it'll reduce that down. Bacon was chopped, and I fried it off in the pan. It just needs chopping up slightly more than that. And then we're going to fry off I'm going to take that out of the pan. I'm going to chop it up so it's a bit smaller, so it spreads a lot easier between the layers of the pancake. Slice the onions. They're going to get cooked down, so they'll get cooked in that pan, and then the bacon will go back in, and then that'll combine. And then pancake mix. So it is 150 milliliters of full fat milk, 150 milliliters of water, 1 egg, 100 grams of plain flour, and then a good pinch of salt. It just needs to, so liquids in first, and then egg, give a mix around, and then flour in. It just needs to rest for an hour. I think that's more likely, so that the flour gets completely soaks up all the liquid more than actually resting and it being glutinous. So that in there, give it a mix around. I reckon we'll get 7 pancakes if we're lucky out of that, so they're like 7 layers in the lasagna pancake bake type of thing. So that's that can sit for an hour. Get the bacon out, and then what we'll do is onions in, and we'll put a little bit of salt in with the onions, and what that will do is that will draw out some of the moisture, and then we don't have to put the oil in. So that and that, cook that down, cook the sauce, and then what we'll do is we'll add the sauce to the onions and the bacon. So we could have done it another way around, but this is the way I'm doing things for the cooking. So not 300 salt, bit of salt there. That's that. I want the bacon to be smaller, and it's a bit tricky to cut bacon when it's raw, so fry it up for a bit, and then we'll get it smaller, and because it's smaller there'll be more bacon throughout. Rather than big chunks of bacon, you'll get a little bit of bacon in each mouthful. So as always, slightly winging it, but kind of knowing what I'm doing, so that hopefully there'll be enough pancakes to filling ratio. And then I reckon about half a litre worth of white sauce, which will be half a litre of milk, 1 stock cube, and then enough beurre manier into thicken it. I've just got beurre manier in the fridge, otherwise I would make a roux of, how much is it? It's about 35 grams of fat and 35 grams of flour is about enough for about half a litre. So that's what I'd use. I'd make a roux in the pan, cook it out, get rid of the flavour of the flour, and then I'd add the milk and make a roux that way. But I don't need to do that, I just need to boil the milk and add the beurre manier to it. So bacon a bit smaller, that's alright. So that's coming up to temperature. I'll just squish the tomatoes down a bit. Turn it up full, which is what the back, also want the back. We'll get that up to temperature. We kind of want things to evaporate. So to get rid of some liquid, so it concentrates the tomatoes. So that and there, that and there. Now that's it for a bit. We can go and have a cup of coffee and sit down. Well, once kind of got things up to temperature. That's fine. So we'll stop there and we'll come back when things have need doing. So easy cheap pasta sauce is ready. Onions I've sweated and the bacon's gone back in. That's cooking down. So I'm going to puree that, add that back to that. But we'll get a pancake on first of all. So just cheap cooking oil. Get the pan hot. First one's always a mess. So we want to get as many as possible. So slight slight whisk, and then pour in. I don't need to show you how to make pancakes, but what you do is move it all around, add a little bit, until we've got enough on the bottom for a pancake. I reckon that'll do. I reckon we'll get 7 out of that, but we'll see. So can live in there. Blender just to pure up the onion and the garlic. If you just wanted to make an easy pasta sauce for pasta, this is it. You know, you've got an onion, you've got some tomatoes, you've got a bit of garlic. Easy peasy. I guess I wanted to make the pasta sauce. I could have just sliced all the onion and put it in there, reduce the tomatoes with a bit of garlic and then put that in there, but I wanted some a little bit. I can't really understand why I wanted to, but I suppose doing it this way makes the tomato sauce taste better slightly, and I think any kind of little improvement you can make to things is a good thing. So that off there. if you bang on your hand rather than the side of the pan, then you're not going to crack the plastic. So that there. And get rid of that one. So spatula, just to kind of into the sauce, and then what we'll do is we'll heat the tomato sauce up with the onions and the bacon, and then we'll taste it and we'll see if it needs any salt and pepper. It'll probably just need a little bit, not too much because the bacon's salty, and I add a little bit of salt to the onions just to start off the cooking process. So the majority of that out of there, out of the way. Looks alright. Wants to be quite thick. If I'm honest, don't want to be too thin. Not like if I was adding pasta, whereas you want the liquid in the pasta sauce to cook the pasta. The pancakes are already going to be cooked, so it can be quite dry like that. So we'll just bring it up to temperature so it all combines, and then we'll give it a taste. So pancake flip over. Never needs so much cooking on the second side. Quite thin, but that's okay. So perfect pancake. Who'd have guessed it? Oh, I think that's it. Give that a couple of minutes just to flavours to melt together. Finish off making the pancakes, and then we'll come back. So don't need those, don't need that, don't need that, that's fine. So we'll stop and we'll come back in a bit. Milk and the stock cube is coming up to the boil, so we'll throw in a little bit of the Bermanier mix. I can't remember how much, it's probably about 50 grams worth that you need to add to thicken a pint of milk. So put a bit in. What will happen is it'll come back up to the boil, and the flour and the fat Bermanier will instantly thicken it because you've already cooked it out. I did a video, I won't do a link to it because you can find it yourself if you're interested. So let pancake over, 2 jobs at once. Yeah, it's just starting to thicken up, easy. So tasted the tomato and the onion and the bacon mix, and it just needs a bit of pepper. It's fine for salt. So that much pepper. Obviously you taste things and then you can always add a little bit more, but very difficult to take anything like salt or pepper away. It just turns into a bit of a faff. So taste, season a little bit, mix in, taste a little bit more. If it needs a little bit more pepper or salt, then you can add a little bit less, add a bit more. So sauce is thickening up, so it wants a little bit more. That much. Pancakes ready. Forgotten where we are with the pancakes. That might be number 5. So a little bit of oil. Yeah, I think that's 5. I think we'll get 2 more out of it. That's enough of there. Oh, we might get more than that. So I want the sauce to be kind of quite loose. I don't want it to be too thick. So is that a good consistency? Yeah, that's fine consistency. It'll thicken up slightly as it cooks, as it cools a little bit. So we'll turn the heat off on the white sauce, and that's it. So we'll come back when we're putting everything together. So the pancakes are round, but the container is square. So what we're going to do is we're going to, yeah, it was 7 pancakes by the way, so that's 7 layers that we're going to do. So we're going to whip off that part of the pancake. We're not going to waste it because we don't waste anything. I'm going to whip off those parts of the pancake, and we'll use that bit at the end there so it patches it all in. So, ooh. Let me have a think. I better pause. I need to work out how many layers I'm going to do. Right, I'm back and I have thought about what I'm doing. Yeah, so just making sure that was recording. So, 7 layers of pancakes, 6 layers of filling. The top layer will be a pancake because then it'll be just a little bit easier to put on the white sauce. Otherwise the white sauce is going to go onto the red, and I don't want that. I want like a layer between the white sauce and the filling. So easiest way to do this is, since we're going to do 6 layers of pasta, of the saucy, ragouty, bacony, oniony, tomato thing. So divide that into 12, into half, and then you want 6, so it's 3 and 3. That's the easiest way to do it, and then we know what a portion for a layer is. And then it's just a simple case of putting that out. They're going to be quite thin layers, but that's going to be fine. It's going to be more about the pancakes and the starch rather than anything else. And I kind of think it'd be quite nice to do lots of layers. You could just do stuffed pancakes if you wanted. So what you would do is you would take same principle, 7 pancakes. So you want 7 lots of the filling, and then you divide that into 7, and then you'd kind of put that on there, and then roll them up, and then put those in the oven dish, and then you would put the white sauce on top, and or a little bit of white sauce underneath as well. Otherwise, pancakes want to stick to the container. So that would be if you want to do the stuffed pancakes. I don't want to. I want to do like layers of pasta. Because I went out for a walk, and I was kind of quite hungry, and I kind of thought what I wanted for my tea, and a lasagna type of pastry bakey thing was the thing I wanted for my tea. So first layer, that on there like that, end piece there, end piece there, and then next layer of sauce, and then we'll repeat. You don't need to see it. It's kind of a bit little. It's not boring. It's just not that interesting. So that there. I haven't worked out how much this is going to cost, but I did remember that it's not actually 500 grams of. It was 250 grams of bacon that I used, so I do remember that. So I can't remember if I said it was 500 grams. I think I said that it was 500 grams of bacon that I was going to use, but it's not. It's 250 grams of bacon. I do remember that. So next layer, end bit. There, move that a bit. Move that a bit, and repeat until we finish. So I'll stop there, I'll do that, and we'll come back. Slightly messed up with my calculations and layers of sauce and pancake. So I have an extra pancake left. So what I think I'll do is I'll do a layer of pancake, and put a little bit of sauce on, and then another layer of pancake on top of that. Get something better to smooth that out with. What have we got? That'll do. So actually, I should have divided the sauce into 7 rather than 6. I used to be good at maths. Apparently not anymore. But we always improvise, so make it just a little bit more interesting. I reckon there's going to be 3 good portions here if you're just having this, 4 if you're having something else. So rest of the sauce on top. Oh, maybe even 4 portions. Yeah, 4 portions. Yeah, it depends on what you want to eat. It depends how big your appetite is, but I reckon there's 4 good portions here. And then don't waste anything, and I think we'll smash up some of those breadcrumbs and we'll put those on top, and it'll be nice bit of crunch on the top rather than cheese, because it's going to be quite rich with the bacon already in it. Don't want to waste that. So we'll should have smashed up the breadcrumbs before I started doing this, and I could just all put it all together. But no, not to worry. I'm going to crush them in. I'll crush them in something. So, slightly off camera. No, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it on camera. So, these are just sourdough breadcrumbs. And that'll cook in a little bit of oil. They're nice for a snack, but they're also nice to put on top of things. And what we got? Works. Make a mess on the chopping board, but it doesn't really matter. See, the thing is I'm quite hungry, so I want it to get rushed to get this in the oven, and then I'll wash up, I'm going to go to the shower, and then I want my tea to be ready. So I'm making mistakes, and I'm winging it as always. I should have a few more thoughts about how I was going to do this properly beforehand. So breadcrumbs on top. A nice bit of crunch. Move those around. There we go. And that's going to go in the oven at, it's going to go at 180 for, everything's warm, so it just kind of needs to go in the oven to set. So 180 for 45 minutes, an hour. We'll see how we go. Out of the oven, nice and crispy on top. It's puffed up a little. What we'll do is, I reckon, yeah, there's certainly 4 good sized portions there. So what I'll do is I'll cut out a portion and we'll see how it is. We'll be able to look at the layers. I'll have to move the camera. But anyway, that's the look from the top. I'll get a portion out. As always, it's just, if you're baking things like this and you've got cheese on the top or anything like that, it's just easier if you're going to cut through, just use some scissors, because knives never cut through properly. So we'll cut down like that. Works with lasagna and pasta dishes as well. It's just easier to portion up, and then we'll just do that bit as well, and then we'll see how it looks. Might hold together, it might be a bit soft, but it will be lovely because everything I put into it was lovely. So go around there, and we'll get a portion out. We'll do it there. I'll do it on camera. I think it might be, I've got a feeling it's going to be a bit soft, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Ordinarily with pasta and things like that, it soaks up some of the moisture, so there's nothing in here to soak up the moisture, so we'll just have to see how it goes. It's going to be nice. There we go. Right, so we'll move camera and we'll have a look and see how it goes. There we go. And it's not bad at all, does it? We can see the layers there and there and there and there and there. I think if you wanted to do it with pasta, it would work just as well. The same recipe is going to work for typical. The same recipe is going to work for stuffed pancakes or cannelloni or anything like that. Obviously, I used in total a kilo of onions, so probably like maybe 200 grams in the sauce. So it's like 800 grams of onion. I would, if you were going to do vegetables, 800 grams of other vegetables would work just as well. So if you wanted to do like half onion or a third onion and then 2/3 something else or a half something else, I think 800 grams is a good amount for the stuffing. I use breadcrumbs on top, but cheese would be fine. I'll work out how much I used and all the kind of quantities and things, but it was pretty straightforward kind of recipe. And if you haven't got any pasta in the house, you don't want to make any pasta, I think pancakes are a suitable alternative. So that's it. I'm not sure how much it'll cost. It might be like 80p a portion, something like that. But I'll work it out and then I'll put it in the description. And anything that I did and didn't change and all that kind of stuff in the description. If I made a mess of things, I'll correct it all in the description.